Good. Charlie, please make the Scott sign and repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Charlie Shaw,
reaffirm my allegiance
reaffirm my allegiance
to the three promises of the Scott Oath.
to the three promises of the Scott Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize
I thoughtfully recognize
and take upon myself
and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and responsibilities
of an Eagle Scout.
of an Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best
On my honor, I'll do my best
to make my training an example
to make my training an example,
and my status and my influence
my status and my influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship.
and for better citizenship.
In my troop,
In my troop,
in my community,
in my community,
and in my contacts with other people.
in my contact with other people.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
This I pledge my sacred honor
To.
to. All right.
Charlie, your conduct along with Charles has been excellent. You've rededicated yourself to the principles of scouting, but one more thing is important, and that is your future. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to other scouts. You become an example in your community. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous, and people will expect more of you. To falter in your responsibility would reflect not only on you, but to your fellow Eagles and all of Scouting. The torch you carry is not yours, but it is also ours. Congratulations, Charlie. Thank you, Dave.
At this time, I would like to call up Mr. Yale Shao, Troop 3143 committee member, to please come forward and present the Eagle Scout handkerchief to Charlie.
Dave mentioned the Willie Shell. That's here. I'm Willie Shell's my son. Charlie and his family and me, we share the same last name. And actually, it's not a very common last name. So, but I have to say, before the scouting, we do not know each other. It is scouting that bring me to bring two families together. And over the past years, that we've been camping together and we've been doing Eagle project together. So it's really the scouting itself to bring us together. And for that, I'm really thankful for the opportunity. And talking about the living a scouting life, other than that, I would like to share something special today. And I see a lot of the people that Chinese people are showing here. That's great. The scouting so far is still not a big thing. It's not fully recognized in the Chinese community. Now, I think Charlie recognized that, and we know how scouting has been a big thing for people, for me, for my Charlie's family, for people, a lot of people here, but it's still not a big thing in the Chinese community. About 2.5 years ago, Charlie, together with Willie and another guy called Oliver Nee, they were together there's a big Chinese school in the the weekend school in the perimeter church. They go in there fully dressed up and do a seminar, try to telling the people how good scouting is. And I think because of that, some of the people coming to join our troop and some other troops. And at that time, Willie is the only Eagle Scout. And today, I'm so glad that Charlie became another Eagle Scout today. But how about Oliver, the third boy that we're talking about? He also achieved his Eagle Scout last year, about this time last year. This year, he was accepted, and he's now in the United States Naval Academy. About an hour ago, I sent him an email. I sent him a text message. I say, hey, now we have the Court of Honor. What do you have to say with Charlie? And he sent me a message from text message, so I put on the phone. Let me quickly read it. Say, hey, good afternoon, Charlie, and congratulations on your incredible achievement. This is Oliver Nee from the United States Naval Academy. Becoming an Eagle has helped me tremendously in life, especially now in the military. And I know it will help you more than you realize. Being an Eagle Scout lets people know that you are a man of character and integrity. Always keep that above anything else. Remember, Eagle Scouts are not defined by the pin that you are wearing, but by the leader you are. Enjoy your celebration today and your friends and family. You have earned it. Congratulations again, and know that this achievement will take you as far as you want to go. With that one, I would like to present the Eagle neckerchief.因为 Charlie's family 和我们 family 我们都觉得特别好，我们有非常特别感谢这个机会来能够 scouting 这个 opportunity。如果你们有你们将来有朋友有小孩子，你们能让他们来，这是 the best gift you have to your children. Thank you.
Thank you, Yale, and thank you for providing us an example of what becoming an Eagle Scout can lead to. Charles Shaw, having confirmed all readiness for the reception of the Eagle Award, it is now time to formally present you with this high badge of achievement. It is my pleasure and my honor to be able to present this badge to you. By the authority of the National Court of Honor, by the authority vested in me by the National Court of Honor of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you an Eagle Scout. May the oath you have taken always remain with you. Present to you Charlie Shaw, Eagle Scout. At this time, I would like to call up Mr. Surrender Mugala, Troop 3143 committee member, to present the Eagle Scout certificate.
Well, where do I start? Where do I end? I've been with Charlie for 2 occasions for the 2 trips that we went to, the hybrid trip. It appears like every time we go somewhere, he seemed to lose some things. And that's, that's not in his fault. It's got nothing to do with his problems of his own, but it happens to him. But it's not what happens to you, it's how you handle it, right? So, we had a chat last time we went and he lost his backpack, complete backpack. That includes all the preparation he's been doing for 18 months. It's completely gone. And his demeanor was so cool as nothing happened. And to me it's shocking. It's like, I would go crazy. I mean every small detail that you take so much interest in 1.5 years, it's just gone. And he doesn't seem to be bothered at all. All he's got is a small day pack. And he says, it's no problem, and we are more concerned than he is. And he handled it so well that he knew things will be taken care, and he spoke with his dad, and we actually went with shopping with him. We kind of, pitched in whatever we can. The bottom line is, I think he knows how to handle the situation. The true character of a personality is when things go wrong. I think he demonstrated on that occasion how we can handle it, and that's a representation of, the great personality. I think that, kudos to that. Another thing I noticed about Charlie is his ability to do a lot of leadership skills that people don't seem to notice in this resume of his. It just goes on. At this age, he's doing co-op job in Georgia Tech. Just to getting into Georgia Tech itself is tough, and he's doing co-op before even going to college. So that's a great accomplishment, I think. And I also noticed when he was navigating a couple of times, and I was there with him first time, Charlie is one of those leaders who's very quiet, very nice demeanor, and people may think that his inability to do things, and that's not true. And other crew leaders, members of his, give him tough time. Oh, Charlie, we're on the wrong path. Adults, I don't know, at least a couple of occasions we noticed, we thought he was wrong, but we decided not to say anything. Turns out he was right, a couple of occasions. Not only that, kids, when we all go on a trek, people always challenge you, especially the navigator, the most difficult job, because every time everybody is questioning you because we don't know we're going to reach in time, like Greg Bach said. And that's a challenge he has to deal with, every single person, including adults. He has to make sure that he gives you confidence that we will be on the right track. And I think he's done a great job of that. With that, I will read the Boy Scouts of America Eagle Scout presentation to you. Charlie, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Surinder. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Cindy Green, Troop 3143 Assistant Scoutmaster, to please come forward and present to Charlie a personal Eagle plaque.
Hi, Charlie. How are you? This morning, I called my son Hunter, who's in college, so that we could share some stories about Charlie, and for him to kind of refresh my memory. As we get older, memory's the first thing to go, unless you're a man, and then it's the hair. One of the things about Charlie that I noticed early on, he's a very unique person. He's very imaginative and extremely bright. Hunter and him are very similar in that respect. You never know what's going on up here. When we were working on the hike in Mirror Badge, we were on one of our 10-mile hikes, and Hunter and Charlie were kind of keeping up with each other, and they created this word game to kind of pass the time along the hike. And what was frustrating was, I was kind of listening in. Some of the words I'd never heard of before. And Charlie was probably, 13? 12, 13? Maybe? Yeah. It was like, wow. The vocabulary was extensive and made me feel not so smart. But I was very impressed. Hunter told me another time that they were thinking, using their brains on a camping trip, to figure out how an electric motor worked. Of course, they didn't have one there. They were doing this all in their head. That stuck out in Hunter's mind also. But when I think of Charlie, I think about his creativity, his intelligence, and I also think of Albert Einstein, who once said, "The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination." This was very evident with his drawings for his Eagle project. They were so detailed, and he thought about it, and he imagined it, and he was able to use, and that was what, AutoCAD or whatever, to create these very detailed drawings, all the way down to exactly where each hole needed to be for a screw. It was a fantastic job. And if any of y'all worked on this project or got to see his benches, they were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I also want to leave you with one more quote from Einstein. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Your life is just beginning. I want you to continue to use your imagination and make this world a better place for us all. And now I would like to present you your personal Eagle plaque. And since you still have a year at home before you go off to college, you can hang this one in your room. And it just says Charlie Shao, Troop 3143, 6/27, 2013.
Thank you, sir. No pressure there, Charlie, just because you got compared. No pressure at all. Charlie, your name has been added to the Troop's Eagle Scout Honor Roll, which we've just about completed the second plaque now, and we will soon be adding a third plaque, which is fantastic news. I'd like to bring you over here so you can see your name and see where you've been added. You made the second plaque. Oh, I'm sorry, you will be added. We'll get this spot right here. And it is right there. I'm sorry, we're adding them at such a rapid rate that I'm losing track of where people go. Well, we are. We're already in my glasses. Yeah. Yeah, because all the names look like Shao, and I just... You're really going to make me do it? You're 49.
It's definitely good.
Charlie's our 49th Eagle Scout. We're proud of that. We're proud of you. You're on the list. You're forever going to be honored. Every Eagle Court of Honor we have, these plaques will be presented, and younger scouts who hope to be added on it will come by and look at the names on the plaques, and they're going to see your name, and you will be part of this troop's record forever. And I'm proud of it.
Thank you.
At this time, I ask Mr. Robert Van Wagner, Troop 3143 committee member, to please come forward and present Charlie with a special bond.
Charlie's biggest obstacle in getting his Eagle is how he meets his Eagle coach. He's probably kind enough not to mention that as we go through this. But the first thing I want to do is present him with this binder. And this is awesome. I mean, earning Eagle is great. And part of what makes it great, in all honesty, once you go through this, is getting this binder. Kudos to Mr. Pfeiffer. I don't know where he came up with this idea, but we've been doing this, I guess, ever since our first Eagle. And it's just an amazing array of people that take their time to basically send a congratulatory letter to you. I mean, we have President of the United States, Vice President, Governor, sports figures, entertainment figures. You can see it. I mean, it's thick. Charlie, worth going through and read some of these. The other thing we get is a book from True with Kathy, who is basically the founder of Chick-fil-A. So obviously someone who's very accomplished. They used to give a check for $100, which they stopped giving, and that's one of the reasons is basically you see all the names on this thing. I guess we started costing them too much money, so he put it down. But even so, he does present the book and basically signs it for you, which is just really, really nice. And I'll try to keep this a bit brief. But when I first started with Charlie on this project, I had no gray hair. Charlie recalls that. And the other thing is as I don't know if any of you are familiar with IKEA, but when you go to an IKEA and you purchase something, basically you bring it home, you open up the package, and the first thing you notice is that there's no written instructions. That was Charlie's Eagle project. When I opened Charlie's Eagle project, there were just amazing pictures, amazing diagrams. It was just incredible. So I will say, without a doubt, that if Charlie, if nothing else, you could either, A, number one, have a job at IKEA without a problem, or become IKEA's competition, but the only difference would be, as opposed to having Swedish meatballs, we would have your mother make dumplings. I can't miss. But I will say that me and Charlie definitely had our moments. Charlie is stubborn, and although I come across as being very easygoing, I'm really not. Charlie had to put down written instructions, and it was extremely frustrating for him, I know. It was very hard for him because Charlie's very visual. And Charlie basically, you know, that's the way he is, and that's the way he's wired. But I just made sure that he wrote all these instructions down. And of course, when we got to the project, were they there? No. all the pictures were there. But he persevered. I enjoyed working with Charlie. Charlie is very charismatic. He is just one of the, to this day I talk with Charlie all the time. I enjoy talking with him. He's friendly. I consider him a good friend. You know, despite, you know, what we went through to get him to Eagle, I always had a good time with him. He was always friendly. From a leadership perspective, I mean, obviously, you know, you're either charismatic or you're not. And he is, and I think he'll learn to realize that. The other thing he is like you say, he knows what he wants done and how he wants it done, and he knows how to motivate people to get it done. And I think he didn't realize that until he started on this Eagle project, and I think he took a major step there. Charlie is an amazing individual, and you know, he'll go very far. He'll be able to accomplish anything he wants. He's a lot of fun to be with. People enjoy being with him. He still shows up at scout meetings for us. He's well respected, and it's really was a pleasure. I mean, I know we have some adults out here, but you know, based on working with Charlie, I would highly recommend people get engaged with working with these Eagles. I mean, Charlie did have a hard time at his board of review, but not really. When Charlie walked into that board of review, and it was, as Anupam said, probably the toughest board of review we've had, he knocked it out of the park. I mean, when he walked into that room, he just took control, and it made me so proud. It was just such an amazing, it really choked me up. It was good. It's something I'll never forget, and I thank Charlie for that. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Bob. I want to clear up something real quick. I have put IKEA furniture together in the past. And I've seen Charlie's designs for his project. Charlie's drawings blow the IKEA drawings away. I mean, it's not even close. I could put something together with Charlie's drawings. IKEA, it always took a couple of tries because things didn't fit together the way they said. Charlie, you could give them lessons. So Mr. Van Wagner undersells how good your drawings were. At this point, I'd like to focus on Charlie's family. Anyone who's earned the Eagle Scout rank or had a son achieve the Eagle Scout rank understands that the Scout couldn't do it without the love and support of his parents. And at this time, I'd like to ask Charlie's parents, Neil and Eugene, to please come forward so that Charlie can give a token of appreciation to each of you. So come on up. In recognition of the fatherly advice and guidance that he has given to Charlie along his trail to Eagle, I now ask Charlie to present to his father this small token of appreciation. No one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice and helpfulness from the mother of an Eagle Scout that bring us to this afternoon. As a symbol of what his mother's made possible, we now ask Charlie to present his mother with a token of appreciation. This is usually where we get our biggest moment of unintended comedy, because Scouts seem to have trouble with the necklace. Given how long it took Charlie to get the pin on, we'll see how long this takes. Charlie, I want to congratulate you once again, and I want to remind you that Scouting should now become an even greater part and an even greater tie between you and your parents, binding you even closer together as a family. Congratulations all. All right, we've come to the place in the program where Charlie gets his revenge and has a chance to address his family, his friends, his fellow Scouts, and adult leaders. So I asked Charlie to come up and say a few words. Be kind, please.
So before I begin, I have some corrections to make. But I don't know, they're not maybe not corrections. But I don't remember being stubborn. Maybe that's revisionist history. I don't know. And Hunter and I weren't trying to think about how an electric motor works. We were trying to design a perpetual motion machine. But but I didn't. But that didn't work out. So before I begin, thank everyone for coming here. It really means a lot for all for such a crowd to be here. And first off, I'd like to thank Mr. Pfeiffer for being such a great Scoutmaster, and his dedication to scouting is such an inspiration. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Murray for being such a great Scoutmaster. And then next, I'd like to thank Ms. Person, who unfortunately is not here, for being such a great neighbor, for helping me with my merit badges, and for being an interesting person to talk to on the way to campouts. Right, Prakash? Yeah. And then I'd like to thank Ms. Green for helping me with requirements, keeping me on track on the Eagle project, and helping me with merit badges. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Van Wagner for somehow sticking with me all the way. And next, I'd like to thank Mrs. Stillbauer for cutting the lumber at my Eagle project. Then, of course, I have to thank my family for their ceaseless support. And to anyone else I forgot, I'm incredibly sorry. I thank you because I could not be here without the people I forgot and the people I mentioned. So thank you guys all. So I think scouting is, joining scouting was the best choice I ever made. Yeah, a lot of choices I made. They weren't bad. They don't always think they were the best choices. Scouting has provided me so many opportunities, let me meet so many new people, and experience so many things I would never had if I didn't join Scouting. The first thing I've learned from Scouting is that camping can be fun, especially when it's raining and you're hiking up a trail known as the Appalachian, getting stung by yellow jackets on your 16th birthday, and traversing through wet boulder fields in the dark. I think rain makes everything better, because after all, it's the sunshine. But in all seriousness, I think Scouting, my fondest memories are from the camping trips, especially those at Philmont. Yeah, I remember, I learned so much. Hold on. I mean, when I first went to Philmont, I was pretty not so fit. And let me say, it was quite an experience. I always complained too much about the pack, being too heavy, hiking too fast. But nonetheless, I've learned quite a lot and experienced many things that I never had been able to. For example, at Philmont, I never climbed a spar pole, and I remember the first time climbing a spar pole, I was about 3 feet off the ground, hugging the pole, and cursing at myself for being so stupid to do such a thing. And 2 years later, I was in the exact same predicament, so I guess some things never change. But in all seriousness, what struck me most about Philmont was not the sights, not the activities, which were all awesome, but it was just being with the scouts and the people. What struck me most, besides the collective, struggling together and the collective joys of at Philmont, was how the staff was so dedicated to the camp. But I think that's a common theme throughout Boy Scouts, is how everyone is so dedicated. I think Willie called it, I guess, the circle of service. It's so inspiring to see people like Mr. Pfeiffer, Mr. Van Wagner, Miss Green, and Mr. Valvanini stick with Scouting for so long, long past when the suns are gone. And that has really inspired me to work even harder, and not to just complete one thing, but to stick through it so that the next generation is prepared and I can leave Scouting in a better place. But besides the adults and camping, what really struck me about Scouting is also the other scouts I meet. Some of these scouts are honestly some of the coolest people I ever met. Scouts such as Sivamova, Scott Burson, Justin Bryan, just to name a few. It really struck me with how even people like us can lead such, have so much leadership and so much character. And it really inspires me to be like them. I mean, I don't think there's any other organization that could have provided me with such a good education and experience. But also, like any other decisions, there are some regrets. I do not regret joining Scouting joining the Scouting movement. I regret some of my actions in the Scouting movement. The biggest regret I have was approaching Scouting originally from a purely requirement standpoint. And I think that was a big mistake on my part. I feel that if I slowed down and was so focused on requirements, I could have learned a lot more about leadership and character from the likes of Willie and such. So to all those non-existent new Scouts here, Scouting is more than requirements and tying bowline knots, which I do now have. It is about the journey. So I guess that's what Scouting has taught me the most, is that the journey is far more important than the end result. So in conclusion, I would say that achieving the Eagle rank is not the end for me. It is just the beginning of a new beginning for what I can learn from scouting, and a start for the circle of service as Willie called it. So I'd like to thank everyone here for coming, and yeah.
All right, before I do the closing, I want to say a few words. Charlie, wow, I don't think I've heard an Eagle Scout response that had that much thought and that much self-reflection in it, and I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. That was fantastic. Thank you. I first got to know Charlie. I did not have the pleasure of attending Philmont with him, but I did get to spend some time with him on the Philmont prep hikes. Those are hikes we take in the area, Georgia and North Carolina. We go to different places and we spend 2-3 days hiking and getting the scouts used to backpacking, but also working as a team and performing the duties they'll need to perform to survive out at Philmont. And Charlie has gone from an 8th grader, when we started in 7th grade, who could barely carry his pack. But you didn't complain on the prep hikes. And you mentioned complaining at Philmont. He never complained on a prep hike. It didn't matter how big his pack was. It didn't matter how bad the weather was. And we've had some bad weather in the prep hikes. Charlie didn't complain. He did his job and he did it well. And you didn't have to repeatedly tell him what he needed to do. He fulfilled his responsibilities and he did them well. And I've come to respect you very much for that. And when Charlie talks about not letting Eagle be the